On August 21st, 2025, I predicted this about Silent Hill F. Silent Hill F, a Souls-like horror game. Not two things that usually go together, but it might be so crazy that I could see it work. And what can I say? I was right, and it does work. Now you might be thinking, I can predict good games before they release. So guess what? I'm going to predict the winning lottery numbers and officially retire from YouTube. I'll see you guys never because I'm about to win. What's up, gamers? I just spent 15 hours in Pipe Beatdown Simulator and goddamn, this game is very good. You know how good this game is? It reminds me of your girl texting you at 3 a.m. saying, "You up?" That's how good this game is. It heavily reminds me of the classic horror games. Basically, you only need a few requirements to be considered a classic horror game in my book. Survival horror, check. Making me claustrophobic as fuck, check. And puzzles. You can't forget the damn puzzles. You guys know I'm dumb as a bag of bricks. But I gotta admit, this game has some great puzzles. The reason I say that is because they all felt unique and different. Like my favorite one is you are in the rice fields and you have to figure out which statue / scarecrow is the real one. And if you pick the wrong one, well, you're gonna get attacked by the enemy. And the way you pick the right one is by reading the little quote or hint they give you. And man, oh man, once I solved that puzzle, man, I felt like I was motherfucking Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein. I'm not gonna lie, guys, the Souls-like and horror game, it does go well together. Because sit down with me, let me tell you how it works. Like, sure, you could kill every enemy on sight, but once your weapon breaks, you're going to be praying to God you have a toolkit. And the game does punish you for spam dodging or spamming your moves, because these enemies will beat the god out of you if you run out of stamina. Also, they made the enemies' movements very unique and different, because they don't do like a normal like swing. They turn oddly and they shift their body around. So it does take some time to understand how to fight. So the only weapons you're going to be using are melee weapons, and they each have their pros and cons. Like, you could use this little knife, which you could quickly stab, but that thing barely does any damage. It's just like using like a plastic knife. Or you could use the big boy axe, which does a lot of damage, but it has some slow ass UPS head ass delivery, meaning your ass is gonna be taking so fucking long to just swing a basic light hit that the enemy's just gonna beat the fuck out of you by then. The game also does contain a small upgrade section that if you donate your items, which each item is worth a certain amount of faith, you can upgrade your health and stamina at a shrine. There are some items that provide more faith, which gives you more points to upgrade, so look out for that. So what I'm basically saying is you got to explore. You got to go Dora the Explorer head ass and explore every little house or every little alley to find some stuff, which it does reward your curiosity, which I like in horror games. Also, I should mention caution. You have a limited inventory space, so be cautious when picking up the shit around you, because you won't have enough space for certain items that you do need. Keep that in mind. Don't go too crazy, okay? Now, finally, let's talk about the story. I hated every character. Straight up, Kendrick Lamar their ass. I hated them. I was D1 hating. That's good, because it means I was invested in the story. Now, I don't want to dive too much into the story because it would ruin newcomers' experiences. So what I'm just gonna say is that shit is crazy. It's as crazy as the homeless guy in front of the gas station trying to sell you some drugs. That shit goes hard in the paint. But near the end, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of got a little too crazy where I couldn't even figure out what the fuck was going on. I kind of wish they kind of cleaned it up near the end, you know, make it a little bit more digestible, if that makes sense. Like, I know Silent Hill stories are supposed to have that, you know, that crazy, but like, I kind of needed some breadcrumbs to follow along with the crazy a little bit, but it's still a good story. It's just not as good as like Silent Hill 2 remake, if that makes sense. I don't know. You get the idea. You're smart. I'm not. Lastly, I do highly recommend doing a second playthrough and re-experiencing it again, because they added more stuff to collect, and you can also re-examine the cutscenes like this. Now, score-wise, I would definitely give this game a 9 out of 10. It's probably one of my favorite games to come out this year. But is it worth $70? Well, let me ask you this. Do I believe a 12 to 15 hour story game is worth $70? You put the 15 on the top and you divide it by 4, maybe you... No, it's not.